Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 10 American battleship Montana. She has 96,300 health, a top speed of 30 knots, 12 406mm guns, 20 secondary guns, a surface detect of 15.6 kilometers, and 53 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main armament, faster turret traverse, improved main battery accuracy, reduced the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, basic survivability, basic firing training, expert marksman, superintendent, and advanced firing training. We are on the map Tears of the Desert. This is Epicenter, and I'm sure many of you are just groaning, oh, Epicenter. But let me stop you there. The game was actually pretty good, and it was back and forth, so I don't really care what caused it to be good. I just know it's a great game and you're going to enjoy it. And for those who've never played Epicenter, oh, Notser, what is it? It's King of the Hill. You're never going to capture any of the rings other than the center before most of the opponent, or your team, are defeated. Destroyers are inherently very important, obviously. It's objective control. Destroyers can remain hidden and prevent or capture these objectives. So I'm not exactly a destroyer. I'm slightly larger, just a touch. I am in the process of leveling my commander. You notice I don't have a level 5. I will get concealment the second I can, but I cannot right now. I don't have enough skill points. So we're there. We're almost there. We really are very close on leveling up a Montana. And I did level up my Montana commander, basically from scratch when I got the Montana. Now, whatever the first date, what was it? Was it last year at this time, or maybe even later in the year? But either way, that's about how long you should expect to get it if you don't grind it. I purely play for my first win of the day, and we're already taking damage from the opponent. Also, by the way, this was on the stream. I am redubbing it because I was talking about something completely random, and honestly, I don't think I ever addressed what I was thinking in the stream itself. I don't even know what I was thinking. I was just off in my own little world, so I really need to explain what I usually look for. It was really, quite truly, autopilot mode. I just played it the normal way. You can see I will check every once in a while for islands. I'm looking for broadside targets at this point. Not really a target that I would say objectively deserves to take some shells, but there are some candidates that are coming up. Now, what is the difference between the Montana and the Großer Kurfürst? Well, it has a smaller caliber gun. It has a slower rate of fire. It's about the same accuracy pre the modules. The modules improve it. Now we're firing on enemy Hindenburg, and we lay down some thunder. 19,000 points of damage. No citadel. 8 shells over pin. We only missed 2. This is basically an Iowa with 1 extra gun. It has roughly the same amount of armor, roughly the same amount of angle, weaknesses. Everything is roughly the same as the Iowa. Now it's a little bit slower. Not too much. Its AA protection is a little bit better. Not too much. And its rate of fire is about the same, maybe a little bit slower, maybe a little bit better. I mean, it's very close. Now, you might say, wait a minute, I don't want an Iowa at tier 10. Well, not particularly. Not when you consider the ships that you are going up against in tier 10. But that doesn't mean you'll fail. And yes, the enemy basically dead. Yes, the Hindenburg is defeated. Big shocker there. When we take 20,000 points of damage out of his hide, it's going to be hard to survive. Now, I engaged the enemy Montana. Don't really watch the shells as they go in. We only hit 3 shells. 2 of them ricocheted. Not a lot of damage. We did, what, 5,000? Maybe 5,000? And we take fire from the enemy over on the south side of the map. Now, this is basically what Epicenter becomes. People fight in and around the circles. As long as there is a ship inside one of these rings, nobody is going to capture the base. It'll even stop the capture. As you can see, we are not gaining anything from the center ring. Therefore, there is at least one enemy ship inside the center circle. And that's the only way you can tell that someone's there, other than maybe your situation awareness. If you don't see it ticking up, that means there's an enemy in the center, preventing your team from gaining from that capture, because clearly we should be. We're losing the war on ships, though, and I come around this corner. I see, oh, I didn't expect enemy turrets to be there. I fire my guns at the North Carolina. We do 12,000. That's not bad. Not bad indeed, right? But clearly, we should have engaged the turrets. If I would have seen him half a second sooner, I probably would have fired at him. Now you can see the camera sort of jumping up and down. That's the clue that we're a little close to an island, and the turrets takes a lot of friendly torpedoes. I deem him dead. He does appear to put out the flood in the fire, but I'm going to worry about the North Carolina. And boy, am I glad I did. 30,000 points of damage. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll take that. He wasn't really looking at us. The enemy's taken out, so it's not a punishment scenario. He does do 9,000 with only 3, and I try and angle away as quickly as I can. I am set on fire, but these are battleships, so it's highly unlikely that they are firing HE. He could teach me I'm wrong, but you know what? We get a perfect broadside. We probably would have killed him either way. We lose out on about 9,000 points of damage because someone else did it, and their torpedoes, oh, that was close. The Tirpitz lets out one last bit of his damage, and it's just a little bit too short. Honestly, the hull looked like it would have been hit by the torpedo if it wasn't in that particular spot, right? I think we were within the range at the last possible second. I just was lucky that there was a hole that opened up where the hole would have been. So we're pretty healthy. I was set on fire. I am taking a little bit of damage from the Hubadovsk, and I don't like you. We're going to allow the fire to burn. It's only one. I can't put it out anyway. That's the real truth, okay? But I wouldn't put it out even if I could. I'm just trying to tease you. And who should we fire on? The Hubadovsk, obviously, is perfectly broadside, but it's a destroyer. He has absolutely enough time to maneuver out of the way, so you know what? Let's not go after the destroyer. Let's go after a cruiser, one of these cruisers. And this enemy Des Moines, he has to sort of show his side ever so slightly. Oh, come on, Des Moines. Just show me the goods. Give it to me, baby. Show me that broadside. I just want to damage you and take you out of the match. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for a lot, okay, Nacho? And it's not Nacho, it's Nacho. He's got double O's. Come on, show your side. And, you know, this is a huge mistake, honestly. In the moment, I was just trying to look for a lot of damage, and I was talking. I was not even aware of what I was doing. I can't remember this game. I was so enthralled by what I was doing in the chat, talking about whatever. But I should have fired. Absolutely, I should have fired. This would have easily been another reload, but he decides to show his side. I decide that's the time to pull the trigger, and we do 10,000 points of damage to the target. That probably would have been the average with 2 salvos if he was completely neutral, bow on, but we probably would have done more. You know, it's one of those things. 50% of the time, you're probably going to do way more damage based on dispersion. Now, we've got an enemy, Mogami. He's moving away. Check on the minimap. Yes, confirm. Elevate the gun. Fire it all at the enemy, Mogami. He's full life. Probably going to get some pretty good damage. I would say that's pretty good damage. Oh, yes. 100-0. That is truly a devastating strike. I'm sure that guy's like, what just happened to me? Well, the Montana just happened to you. Welcome to the show, okay? What's bigger, a river or a state? Thank you. Thank you. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say, okay? It was really fun to have that moment on the stream. Whoa! Look at those big shots. Yeah, exactly. Now there's an enemy, Japanese, Kagero, Arrow Red. We have a teammate on my team. I believe his name is Team Red. So, people like Red, and we did a lot of damage to the enemy Kutus if I was too busy talking about it. Another Citadel, a lot of damage. He started out with a lot of health, and now he has none. So, yes, the power of the Montana. 2 fires, remember? We're going to get by the torpedo, and then, I believe, yes indeed, once I confirm I am safely by the torpedoes, I use damage control. And I was just relying on the speed. If I was any other battleship, maybe not the German, but any other battleship, I would not get by those torpedoes. Well, the German would be really large, right? It would probably take a torpedo. Now, I expect the enemy Kagedo. I could engage the Hubadosk, but the Kagedo, he's going to be here. And yes, he decides to fire his gun, so I fire on him, elevate the gun slightly, draw it in, and we do 10,000 points of damage. Confederate, about the only time the Montana is clearly superior to the Yamato. It has more guns. It will just overwhelm an enemy ship. It won't overpin as much because it's got 3 more shells to distribute that damage. And boy, did he feel that, right? Plus, you get lucky with dispersion and stuff like that. This is about the only case where the Montana is superior, is when it needs to hit a target and it just throws more lead out there. And we take him out and we follow in. We earn high caliber. Yes, yes, yes. Boy, this game was back and forth. We had the lead, then we lost it. And now, with a lot of clutch shots on the Mogami, the Kutuzov, and taking out that destroyer, the worst thing he could have done is showed himself. He was a little bit too cocky, wouldn't you agree? He thought, man, there's no way he's going to hit a big shot. Oh, crap, he hit a big shot. And then he held his fire trying to hide. We, in probably nearly the last moment, we probably had an assistant over there that would have scouted him out. And the Hubadosk, I don't think I need to do anything. Yep. Friendly takes out the enemy Hubadosk. And now, there is just the enemy Tirpitz. And there is an enemy cruiser, last known position. The center ring over by their islands' structure. So it's sort of like the tip of their half-moon islands. That was the last known position. So perhaps he's going behind his own islands, and he might pop out at any moment. So not really a valid target. I'm going to try and assist on the Tirpitz, but I also have, of course, islands in the way. So we get to wait. As we're waiting, I indeed have access to the British cruiser line, and I am very excited to share with you information when I am allowed to. But, you know, maybe I can talk about this. They've done something to the way the camo sits on the British cruisers. It looks way better than the camo that they have right now. The camo I'm rocking right now gives me percentage dispersion and concealment. It's the most expensive one. I use it because it gives you both. I really do value concealment. I think it's obviously very important for every single class, in my opinion. We fired on the enemy Tirpitz. Let him a little bit too much. It is a long shot. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of time for him to change. I just need him to be distracted. And now, enemy, notice on the minimap, enemy cruiser shows back up. Friendly scouts him out. And it looks like he has no interest in going into the center of the map. He's going to pull back. So I will continue to support my teammate. The Amagi has an advantage, but we want to make it a bigger, clearer advantage. So I'm going to fire at the waterline. Ooh, he takes a big shot. Oh man, he got taken out. We hit the Tirpitz. 5 shells penetrate his armor. 1 ricochets. Do a quick check. And indeed, he's very low. Looks like he's burning at least. And he will potentially burn his entire health pool. Just confirm it. I really don't want to waste a coolant on this guy. I think he's dead. I think he is indeed dead. Good job, team. He burns down. And the Loa Yang gets another kill. It's a great ship. I mean, it's a Benson. It's a great ship. If you ever get a chance, if we ever get a chance, we're going to go after the Baltimore. If you ever get a chance, you should buy it, I think. If you like U.S. destroyers, you should pick up the Loa Yang. But let's take out the Baltimore. Now we know. Ooh, elevate the gun, 28,000 points of damage. Oh yes, 11 of a possible 12 shells made contact. But no Citadel. If we would have gotten 1 Citadel, maybe 2, he would have been gone. but I'll take 28,000. That's satisfactory. So, I have an island in the way. I cannot angle and make full use of the Montana's gift of 4 gun turrets, so we have to only use the front 2 right now. Elevate the gun again. He's got good angling. We do 54, but obviously that's not enough. I want to have more damage. More. Give me more. Now, the nice thing, I was about to say that, the nice thing about fighting a U.S. cruiser at high tier, they don't have torpedoes. They don't have any way to fix this problem. It is a problem. When a tier 10 battleship is this close to you, I just feel like a hunter hunting their prey. So I angle to bring them all to bear. We land 5, 1 ricochets, so 6 total land, and we don't get him dead. He's still alive, just enough for a friendly to come in and do damage, right? Please don't take this kill from me. I would really appreciate it. I've done probably 28,000, 30,000. I've done a lot of damage to this guy. Well, no, we've done probably like 38,000, closer to that, and I just want to bring it on home. We let it fly, and it sails true. We take out the target, and boy, was this a great game. I was completely distracted by the stream chat. I didn't even really recognize it was a great game until I had like 130,000 mid-game. We earned Confederate, Devastating Strike, High Caliber, 4 kills, 230,000 points of damage, almost 700,000 credits earned in a tier 10 match. I was not rocking the credit flag or anything like that. This was a great game in the Montana, and it's always a pleasure to see that. It's not about having the biggest gun. It's about taking advantage of the moments that are given to you. We earned 3,622 base XP. Absolutely destroyed everyone else. All my damage is an AP, of course. Only 6,000 in secondaries and a little bit of a fire, but of course AP. All the way, baby. Big time damage and a big time game. It wasn't cut and dry. It looked like we would have lost that for a time, but a lot of rebalancing occurred in the form of Montana's guns, and look at the credit income. 450,000 after the cost of the ship. Take a picture because you're not going to see that often at tier 10. I know from experience, okay? I am loving that income. I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Montana dominate. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.